On a side note, how many of y'all don't know your baby mama likes a 10-piece Buffalo Ranch? If she likes ranch on the side, she hits dudes. I'm just telling you.
Episode 22.
Episode 22.
Finding your place. Derek Nowlin, and again, today we're going to talk about, we're going to just call it the State of the Union, bro.
State of the Union. Brace yourselves. State of the Union.
So, all right. So we're, what are we, 18 months in, whatever it is. We're into this new world, right? The Joe Biden world.
Ooh, he's coming out strong.
So,
yeah.
All right. I just want to know, you've gotten to see what's happening.
Right.
You've gotten to see what we had, what we were moving toward.
Right.
Maybe you see it different, than I have, and the diminishing of everything, the cost of everything.
Right.
Has the culture come together? Has people come together because Donnie's no longer in the seat, or are we still as divided? Let's just start there. Do we feel more connected and more loved today than we did 24 months ago?
That's a good question.
Is the temperature down? Temperature down?
Personally, I think that the temperature decreased a little bit because it was weird. The temperature was like 98, right? It was like the Civil War, right? One of the most casualty-producing things because both sides were Americans, right?
Right.
I felt like that was the same situation with this, the last presidential election.
Right.
A lot of people poked their ugly heads out of their hole, and we got to see it.
Yeah. Like
groundhogs, right? Yeah. And I think that once the election and everything happened, a lot of those people went back dormant.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like, look, I still feel the way that I feel, but for right now, I'm just going to embrace the suck, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to come out stronger in 4 years, 8 years, whatever the term,
Yeah.
So I think that people are still divided, and it's very weird because I feel like everything just dropped off the face of the earth. I think that once that happened, the current president proposed things that he would like to do. Some of those were met, and then it was like COVID had like a 2-week like docile period, right? Do you remember that?
I don't.
You don't remember? Okay, so there was like a 2-week period where I rarely, and I don't mean any disrespect by saying this because I know a lot of people that we are.
Hey, we don't discount the fact that people are getting sick and people are dying.
No, not at all.
And that's the tragedy of it all.
Right.
But
there are people that we went to school with family members who have been affected.
Yeah.
I don't mean that. I mean to say that the media, there was a 2-week period, and I wish I would have wrote this down prior to coming. I did not hear, see, read a peep about numbers, the fear of it, and then it ramped back up again. So I don't know if that was because the way that the media was pushing this. I do know that it seems like all of the anger, all of the fear, the animosity, like the clear-cut line between both sides, both parties, and the candidate that they wanted to go for, I feel like that has really, really diminished. I don't really see that as much anymore. I kind of feel like people have their opinion, and they're just waiting.
Isn't it wild that that's happened, but it never happened on the other side when Trump got the deal? It never diminished. It never went away. It was always pushed. It was always in your face. There was always media trying to divide and trying to make that man ineffective. Isn't that wild? That now the other side is feeling that pain, but we've kind of retreated. And you're right.
Right.
We've let it go. We've let it go, and we're back to living our lives because that's what we do.
Right.
That's what rational, reasonable people will tend to do.
Right.
The irrational and the ones that want to complain about everything, they'll never let it go.
Right.
And I feel like it's wild that I'm a Trump supporter. It's wild that I seen the man work. I seen what he was doing for the community. Right. I seen the 10 years of funding for HBCUs. I was watching him make an impact, and people come out of color saying this man's doing what he can do.
And I think that was a little bit of a shock, not for your personal reasoning, but because I did see what you're talking about. Yeah. I am not a Trump supporter. Yeah. People know that. Yeah. People will come up to me and they know where I stand on it. It wasn't anything personal against him. You are a Trump supporter, but you didn't go out here and buy a $80,000 pickup truck and put flags all over it and ride up and down Main Street in Blacksburg and dare someone to speak out against your affiliation.
So you felt like he gave them the power to go do that?
Yes. Yeah. When have you ever, and I'm speaking to everybody, when have you ever in a presidential election, and not you personally, seen people come out daring someone to speak out against them? It's like a Raiders fan, and I've never seen anyone and the masses, the groups of people who were willing to go as far as harming someone, threatening someone for having a difference of opinion, maybe for protesting, right? And that's a whole nother topic. Yeah. I've never seen the amount of anger and just like a gag order, like don't speak out again. If you're going to get Trump, like the Trump train. Was there a Bush train? Was there a Clinton train? Were people out here like daring you to speak out against him, or they'll mash you for it? I don't think so.
I know there's extremes on both sides.
There is.
There's extremes on both sides, but and it hits home.
It does.
It does. People don't think that, in a small town like this that you're going to see something in this area that you've seen on the news.
Right.
We're shocked by that.
Right.
In
bigger cities.
Yeah.
Right. I see what you're saying and I did see it here.
Yeah.
I did see some of it here. I seen a lot of people that were gathering and would go, and I kind of paid close attention because I seen a lot of things unfold on Facebook, because a lot of people gave you a preview to the little mud line that they have in them without even paying for it.
Yeah.
It was free.
Yeah.
I got to see people that I know that would probably share a meal with me say and do some things that is highly questionable. Now, it does not totally mean that I disregard you as a person or your character.
Yeah.
But it definitely let me know, hey, maybe that's not something that we should talk about, because I've never seen, and maybe you can agree with me on this, I've never seen, since I've been alive, a presidential election like that where people were so either motivated to show their affiliation or scared to show their affiliation.
There was big ramifications. There was big ramifications one way or the other. You got a guy that puts his opinions out there and that could easily just be called racist, because he lines up with a policy, maybe not stands with the guy on the moral side of his life, but, really had the best interest of the people in mind in some people's opinions.
Yeah.
And when we're talking economics, we're talking about, what it costs to live, what our military has to go through, what the plan is for our foreign policy, what policies will make American lives better, and that, patriotism in the country is almost dead, I feel like, and I could be totally wrong with that, but you come out pro-America, in America, you could be chastised for that. In America. That's wild to me.
Right. In certain degrees, I could see that, right? And I think that the only issue that I had, he's a businessman. He's savvy, right? You got to be in that position.
He knows how to walk away from a table when he needs to. He's not going to just roll over on these negotiations.
You know what I was told? The person that has the real power is the person that's willing to walk away, right?
Yep.
Because if you leave everybody there sitting and you walk away, you have the power.
Yep. And
that goes for friendships, relations, anything.
Yeah.
And I've held on to that since I've heard that,
yeah.
because it makes perfect sense. If you put that in a relationship point, if one of the partners is willing to walk away and the other one is not, who feels like they have the power?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, when that happened, when we were looking at how people became so infuriated and so angry, and there was this divide, and there was clash, and there were so many things, I kind of just stepped back and just remained silent.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to take it. And also, I can understand your point of view from what he was trying to do economically. And I wish we could be in one of the rooms where they really discuss things.
Yeah.
Right? I'd love to sit in one of those rooms,
Yep.
right? To really find out what's going on. But what I really feel is it only started to boil the pot for people that may already have a particular bias, because in America, sometimes if you go outside the coloring line, you're going to be scrutinized so bad, because America wants you to march to a certain beat. If you're an athlete, if you're a politician, if you are a congressman, if you are some type of elected official, and you speak out against what Americans feel that is right to them, you're done.
That's a really interesting perspective, because America should be and has set up to be, everybody has their own drum.
Right. But it's definitely not like that. And case in point, I got into a little bit of a disagreement with a friend of mine over what someone should or should not do during our nation's national anthem, right?
Right.
And I'm not going to get into that because it's a can of worms. But basically, anytime that you do something that someone agrees with, hey, you can have seconds, sir.
Right.
Come over and watch a movie with me.
Right.
Right? You can borrow my lawnmower.
Yeah.
The second that they see you speak out and it goes against what their morals are at their dinner table, what do you mean you don't do this? What do you mean you don't support that? You mean you wouldn't do this? You're immediately can't, like,
hey,
you're done.
The tribal thing is like real,
Real, yeah.
And that's not a bad, I mean, that's humanity.
Right.
The tribalism that has come in humanity, you want to be associated with like-minded, like moral type people.
Right.
That's not uncommon just because of just who we are in our DNA.
Right.
But being in an open, free society and want to be accepting of others and their viewpoints, that's a thing.
It's kind of hard.
I want to do that. I
Right.
want to do that. I want to experience other people's perspectives. I want to grow and evolve as a human being.
Right.
But I do have a line, and everybody needs to have a line of, oh, that's you. I don't hate you. I actually like you, but these are the things that, these are the things I don't agree with you with. And like, if that's a big sticking point between us, then I'll just go over here. I like you from over here. I like you, but I'm gonna like you from over here.
Right. And sometimes that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Because relationships can get compromised, friends, different things, and it doesn't need to be that way.
Yeah.
I wish that we really stood upon the foundation of freedom of speech, of, all the things that our core foundations are built on, because if you look at it, it's really not that way. Because somebody can say something, it can be articulated in a certain way, and you're done, Or if I don't support something that you support, oh, he doesn't do that because he's a black man. No, I don't do that because I don't agree with the policy.
Right.
It doesn't have, let's go a little bit deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
On the surface, it could be seen as, hey, he may not do that because I don't follow the crowd.
Right.
Nothing that I've really done is following the crowd.
Yep.
I just try.
I've always been a brick out of the wall.
Right.
I've always
Right.
not. Hey, I do not fit in.
Right.
I am not a fit in guy.
Right.
I'm a standout guy.
Right.
You
I think it's good to be like that.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I don't really know what's going on behind the scenes with everything, But I can tell you that I was glad that the temperature dropped a little bit on that situation because it was getting a little hairy. I mean, nation's capital, right? I knew people that went there. I knew people that felt like that they had an obligation to do certain things, right? Yeah. And that's scary. It's scary how far things can be pushed when people feel strongly about an idea. We always said you can't kill an idea, right? Because it's just going to go to the next person.
Right.
Right? And that's truly how I feel. Now, I know all you Trump supporters out there are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I know you guys are coming out strong in a couple of years. Hey, it's going to be, if he runs again, I'm telling you right now, they're going to be, it is going to be madness. I'm talking about they are going to camp out eating hot dogs, beating you with picket signs. It's going to be rough. And the reason I'm saying that is because when someone feels strongly about something, they're going to regroup. And especially if they think that it's best for their country, they're going to regroup and they're going to come out super strong.
I mean, you know, let's just be real. Virginia electing a Republican governor is just a precursor to the wave that's about to happen. You know,
he said to the wave, "Look, Scott, hey, I wish y'all could have seen his face just now. Hey, this man is serious, right?"
I mean, it
precursor to the wave.
It is.
I mean, it is. But and I'm calling it now.
Yeah,
I'm calling it now. I already know what's going to happen, right? And I can see that because I listen, I read a lot. I can see people who are already motivated to make that decision, who want that to be in place, right? The only thing that I want to say is we have to get down. What's the lead singer from the Eagles?
I don't even know his name, but I know the group.
All right,
I mean, all right. It's a good group.
What is his name? I forget his name, but he said it's time to get down to the heart of the matter. And I feel like that's what we have to do. Not just, hey, this is what I support. This is right or wrong. Let's get down to equality. Let's get down to what's going to be best for everybody. Let's get down to, hey, we can have a difference of opinion and we can still be okay.
Yeah.
You know, like we can still be okay. But what I totally support anyone's opinion and views. What you will not do is force it upon me, and you will not cause me bodily harm because of how you feel.
Yeah. Because
you will lose.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, honestly, you know, I just feel like I'm after freedom.
Right.
And I'm after survival.
Right.
At that point, I want fair play.
Right.
And there needs to be a referee.
Has to be.
But I don't need the referee to be a player in the game. And that's what our government is. It's a player in the game. It's the referee. It competes against private business. It restricts freedom.
Right.
It wants to give you the security, like they think that they're going to be your survival.
Gotcha.
I want to be responsible for my survival. I just want fair play behind it.
Right.
You know.
Now, do you think that? What do you think? All the things that we saw. Remember, me and you were talking when you were like, just wait and see. These extreme things were happening, and me and you were talking to each other behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
And you knew my view, I knew your viewpoint, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't waver.
Right.
You stood up like a man.
Yeah.
And we're still friends, and you said, this is how I feel, but just watch this, right? More details to come, you said, right? Do you think that those people that we saw and that you highlighted that were extreme on both sides of the ball, why do you think that Trump being in office made people feel almost invincible, have this vigilante attitude? And I'm not talking about everybody, but it was something that activated people to go and push it a little bit. It was almost like, hey, whatever I do, I'm going to be backed for it. And that means where do you think that if you can answer that for me, where does that come from?
So, you know, when he said stand back and stand by, like that was wild for him to say. But at the same time, there's this reaction to the other side of the coin. You know, I think people are standing up. I think people are standing up over here because there's such wild things going on over here. Okay. You know, so that's my perspective on that whole scenario is like, someone wants to tear things down, someone wants to protect it from being torn down. I think there's going to be a pendulum swing on that. So once the coin flips of, well, this side's going to tear it down now and this side's going to protect it, it's just a never ending roller coaster thing.
Right.
So I do feel stolen. I do feel like there's no way you can convince me that we have they wanted to claim an illegitimate president for 4 years. I legitimately think the American people were stolen. I think that.
So you think that there was a little bit of a farce?
I do.
Okay.
Because all the bellwethers were met. All of the things happened. It's just the media being in the loop of, in the arm of the side of that political party.
Okay.
I just feel like any reasonable, rational person just has to scratch their head. They might not come out and say, "Yeah, that was done wrong," but they're like, "How does that make sense? How does this 3 a.m. like anomaly in the vote count come in like that?" All on the back of COVID. Like they get to use the back of COVID to steal something in the middle of the night, in my opinion.
Right.
So.
I think that he led with an attitude that kind of transcended to his cult, I would say, because when you have somebody in that position of power that says, "Hey, I can literally go out into the street
and shoot a guy,"
right?
Yeah.
People, you can't say certain things around certain people. They take it too literally. I saw a guy that was like, "Hey, I'm willing to die today." And the guy said, "Do you have a family?" He said, "I got 4 kids at home, 2 of them in college." You're willing to listen. Donnie's not going to reach out to your family to make sure that everything's in place, right? Now, you have to take some sensibility with what you feel. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about what you feel. The only problem that I had with it is it started to spill over between the lines of what's good for the people, and it started to go into a little bit of some hate tactics, some things that I saw, and I've never seen people at each other's throats. I don't think that someone that is supposed to bring together, the energy you put off, it's not going to create division, right? Energy's real, right? If I came in here and I just really ruffled your feathers every time I came in here, right?
Yeah.
You would be considering like, man, I don't know if I want to talk to this dude for an hour.
Right.
Because every time we talk is something, it's an issue. There's no way that energy can transcend from one person to a lot of people and have those people have such a negative like reaction or viewpoint. I don't understand that part. One thing I've never understood is no one should be fearful for their belief. Yeah. Right? On both sides.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be fearful, right? You shouldn't be fearful for how you feel, and I shouldn't be fearful for how, but I really feel that was a thing. I really feel that people were really grabbing for straws. And then I asked my buddy, I said, if Donnie would have won, right, what do you think would have happened? Would there have been people that supported Trump saying that, hey, there's no way this could happen, recount, you know what I'm saying? People
they did that for 4 years.
4 years, you know what I'm saying?
So of course he's going to, Russia all over again, and stuff like that. I mean, I just feel like, China's not flying over Taiwan. I don't think Russia is building a pipeline between them and China or trying to take over Ukraine.
Okay.
I don't think that Afghanistan gets debacled in the way that it gets debacled with Biden.
Okay.
I don't think gas is $4 a gallon, bro.
I do not think that.
I don't think the Keystone Pipeline's shut off. I don't think I think America's energy independent. I think that we are respected in the world, maybe not liked, but respected. Now we're just a walkover. We're just a pushover. When Biden's on TV with Putin, threatening sanctions, and Putin's laughing at him.
Well,
that's
because Putin thinks he could put him in an armbar.
Well, he can. He's compromised.
He's all right, but also,
Biden's a puppet of the globalist, in my opinion.
I would say this: as a veteran, I felt kind of slighted to have someone who is very business minded and who is accomplished in the way that he is represent our nation, right? And I'm going to say this because I've never said this before. I felt that there were more qualified people at West Point. Where do we draw the line at, right? We had a president that was everything short of a genius, law degrees and everything like that, and he was still shunned, not because of his accomplishments, because of his appearance. Now we have a president that's never sat on a school board meeting and probably couldn't tell you anything about foreign policy. If you ask him something about the military, hey, what strategic move should we make in RC East in Afghanistan right
I don't know.
now?
I think he was pretty connected there.
He'd have to reach out
and
to
he
somebody.
had Mattis advising him. I mean, you can't not respect
okay,
Mattis.
Okay.
Come on, Mad Dog Mattis.
Right, I
Come
get
on.
okay. But what I'm saying is when you think the American people acted like this man was some type of, I don't know, like a savior. I had somebody come up to me with tears in their eyes, literally crying, and told me to my face, hey, man, God sent him here to save us. Do you know how scared I was?
Yeah.
Do you know the crippling fear that came over me? I'm not lying. I'm not saying this because we're on here.
Well, hey, if does God control? Does God guide? Like, is that a belief you really have, or does someone just have ambition and go achieve?
Right.
Like we got a really deep, and people get lost in that. People go down that rabbit hole, and it's a rabbit hole because you got to think logically at the end of the day. Is everything divine or is nothing divine? So,
I think that we have, and I don't want to get into a whole rabbit hole, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think we have free will in a sense, but we also have what I like to call conviction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And hey, the devil has his army too, bro.
Right. And everybody has, I think either people have conviction or you don't. I could literally go outside right now and flatten Weston's tires. Right.
Yeah.
And he would explode. Right.
Yeah.
Because I know that type of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But why would I do
Especially
that?
That's his baby.
Right.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't do like the conviction I would have because I'm a car guy too to do that to him. What has he done to me?
Right.
Right. Some people wouldn't care. Oh, look at that Honda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, like, some people have conviction, some people don't. And I think that is what you're talking about, divine or not. I think it's a combination of both. But when that man came to me with tears in his eyes and told me that he was sent here to save us, I said, do you not see what's going on? How can you tell me that he's here to save us when people are coming to blows in grocery stores because
they got a MAGA hat on?
Or
Black Lives Matter shirt on.
Or yes,
yeah.
Either one. That doesn't say that, like, like your yard sucks.
Yeah. That's
just me promoting what I feel, right?
Look at the tribalism in that, though.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Like that's just that's a media conglomerate putting people together or against each other.
Oh, big time. 100%. Yeah. Because it's deeper. It's deeper than a T-shirt, right? You have entire neighborhoods in big urban cities right now, New York, where there is not a official grocery store for like 10 miles in any direction.
Yeah.
In 2022?
Right.
Are you kidding me? I've been to the middle of Texas, West Texas. And if anybody's been out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I still found a Walmart. Right?
That's like a big remote area.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, it's
like 100 miles before the next town.
I-10, like I'm talking about Lubbock, Texas. I'm talking about like real places that like you would have to really try to go drive out to.
Yeah.
If we want to get down to the heart of it, there are things that definitely need to be fixed. Why is it that one school district is allotted $5,000 per child, and that covers laptops, the new technology? Because if kids are not using that kind of stuff, by the time they get ready to go to college, they're way behind, right? Because look how tech savvy everything is, right?
Yep.
So maybe this school that got redistricted, right? Gerrymandering, right? They're allotted $500 per kid. Does that kid have any shot or an advantage over a kid that has that type of
compete?
You will fail.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to compete because this kid has a take-home laptop He's doing PowerPoints, and he's already doing that, and you have outdated textbooks, you know?
Yeah.
So if we really look at it, don't come to me screaming about why you want this person in office. You can, but tell me, do you care about the real things that are going on in the world right now? Do you care about, like, I've seen people that have said things to me that totally blow my mind. Oh, we need to build a wall. We need to do this and get these type of people out of here. And I saw the same people on a Friday night in a Mexican restaurant asking for ACP with no veggies on it. Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where do you think these people come from?
But here's the thing, though.
Right.
Those business people are probably here in a legit fashion. You know, like they've done the things. They bring their family in on a green card. They use the system to get these folks in.
Right.
You know, what's happening at the border is a real. I mean, we're being invaded. We are being invaded.
Okay.
This is an invasion.
I'm not laughing at you.
That's fine.
I'm laughing at that you really really feel this way.
I'm there.
I'm
there.
Okay. Okay.
When millions of people are crossing the border
Right.
from not just Mexico, they're flying into the southern border and then they're crossing over.
Right.
Like that's a real documented thing.
So what's worse, people coming into America that are undocumented,
Illegally.
or our government flying in drugs during the cocaine epidemic
Both.
that destroyed
Yeah.
millions of lives
Yeah.
and neighborhoods?
It's both.
Because we don't want to talk about that
because here's the thing. We can't talk about it. It's a control measure for a voting group.
if something happens to me, y'all just remember I said that. So I don't know.
So
Right.
the thing is like they're trying to bring in all these people that can increase the tax base that will be voting in one way because
Right.
they want the handouts. They want this free lunch. You know, they want the American opportunity. They want the American dream.
Right.
You know, they can get propped up here. They know that the citizens of this country are funding the bill, you know,
Right.
for the people that have nothing in the world. You know, and hey, I'm sympathetic to trying to come over and make your life better. And this is the land of opportunity. And what we sell the world on what we are.
Right.
I would think everybody wants a little piece of that.
I say that, and I say two things. Please do not you, but please do not come to me talking about how you're such a Christian. You go to church on Sunday. You're talking about people crazy all during the week. You get your little paycheck from Volvo, and then you go down here to Pollo Loco, and you want to sit there and say what you want to say. Listen, keep it 100. Keep that same energy, like people say, right? Yeah. And then on top of that, I don't have any issue with us trying to better our living situation, anything that we have. The way I look at it, if you're not indigenous to this country, like the real indigenous people, aren't we all here kind of on?
Hey, bro, if you got a birth certificate with an American Social Security card, that's one thing. Right. If you running across the border and you're getting funds from the labor and the incomes that we make and the taxes that we pay,
right,
you've got to stand up. That's a patriot. If we're a sovereign country that you decided to put your life on the line for,
right,
I feel like everybody needs to stand up to say you are welcome to come here if you can get here in the legal fashion. Like, you know, if you go to Mexico and you're beyond your green card, they are going to ship you out of there. Like, everybody in the world, if you come there and don't follow the rules of their country,
right,
you're going to be deported.
Right.
You are going to be deported.
Right.
So, like, why are we allowing that to happen at such a large scale when we could control that? We can control that, and you know, it's a humanitarian crisis. I mean, it is a humanitarian crisis that so many people are crossing the border in that way, and that there could be some smart things done about it.
I wouldn't say that you're totally wrong, right? Yeah. Because I think there has to be checks and balances for everything, right?
Yeah. And a lot of these people are just in cages. You know, the right. Kids in cages thing. That's a thing now. It's going on again,
right?
You know,
it's terrible,
and it's not being reported, and you know all that stuff.
It's terrible. Look at what happened to the people on the pipeline, the indigenous people. They were being they had people that were getting sprayed with water at freezing temperatures because they didn't want to leave the pipeline. They were being beaten. A lot of things were happening that never made it to the media. I just think that there's a lot of things in the U.S. that need to be addressed. We need to worry about home a little bit closer than the border, because we have some serious issues that are still not addressed, right? That are still, even here in this, even in the NRV, like if we condense it down to here, right?
Bring an issue up. Let's talk about it.
Like, I feel that there are a lot of people who don't want to hear about certain things because they don't feel that they were affiliated with the past and how things have gotten us to this point. But if you're not an advocate for change, if you do not use your position, if you do not use your voice, if you do not use things, even if you don't necessarily agree, right? My son may not look like your son, right? But
my son might look like your son.
May, but what am I going to have to tell my son about the first time he gets pulled over, right? Yeah. What instructions as a man, as a black man, am I going to have to? Now, I'm not saying, now listen, a lot of people are going to say, oh, God, here he goes. No, this is real. The reason I'm saying this is because I want that officer to look at my son the same way he would look at his teenager. Because if he identifies, oh, this is a young man that looks like my son, your nurturing ability is already going to step into play, right? I wouldn't want my son to be mishandled. I wouldn't want my son to be, right? And he's going to see that. I'm going to tell my son, hey, when this happens, you need to do these things, right? We're still having that conversation in 2022.
Yep.
And I really feel the reason that we are is because there are issues that are so sharp that people just want to put that knife away and act like that it doesn't happen. And people live in a bubble. And if it has not happened to them, then it doesn't happen at all. Right?
Wouldn't it just be the perfect world to say, comply and be respectful and keep your hands where they can see them, and don't get out of line with that situation, and your life's not going to be on the line.
I feel that is very true, but I feel like that's a conversation that a person like me would have to have, or I've been told by my grandfather, and I don't know how many other people have had to have that conversation. I have friends right now that I could probably reach out to. I could reach out to Zach Nagel. He's a prominent member of this community.
Yeah.
Zach, has your dad ever told you what you need to do when you're stopped by the police? With your body mannerisms, with your voice inflection, with your attitude, with any sudden movements? I don't know. Zach may tell me something different, right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like that's something that's ingrained that we necessarily have to talk about. And I don't want people to think I'm jumping topics. I'm just trying to show something, because this is something that my live is, sorry, y'all, my connection's a little poor. This is something that I feel like is serious, and it is still an issue. And I've heard a lot of people tell me, Derek, well, if you just do this, if you just do that, right? Sometimes those situations don't warrant that, right? Now, thankfully, I've never been mishandled or coerced or threatened or anything like that, but that doesn't mean that somebody else that looks like me hasn't, right? And the only thing that I want is when you see people that look like me, that look like you, that look like Weston, if we all stand on the line together, we have different levels of income. We have different levels of education. We have different life experiences. Yeah. When they see that, that's real. That's when change comes, right? Because people that have a voice, people that, and you need all walks of life, all different backgrounds. The only way that you make change, you can't have one group saying this is an issue, because people automatically associate that with complaining or a card that's being pulled, right? Now, if we have a diverse group of people and we're saying all the same thing, it's not a card anymore. It's a fact, right? So the only thing that I want from this community, right, is in the upcoming years when this train is going to get to rolling again. It's no issue that you want to feel that certain type of way, but let's do it in a sensible way, and let's really advocate and let's explain why we want this man in office, right? Not for power, not for fear, but because we want the school districts to have the same amount of money allotted for each child.
I think that the power to send your kid wherever they need to go,
right, and
that money follow the kid, that's the policy that they're going for.
Right.
I mean, if you gray out the faces and the names,
right,
and you just look at the policy that's in play and the history of prosperity between the two versus looking at communities that are run by this side and the communities that are run by this side, forget the names and faces because it's all the same. It's all one party anyway. We know that.
It is. It's just a wing it's a different wing on the same bird.
But we do have an anti-establishment fashion over here that toes his own line, that does not go with the order. That's why he's hated so much. That's why the media tries to make us programmed in the way that we think he is and what he's done and all that thing. I don't trust the media. That's my biggest problem, or my best asset is I don't trust the media in this country. You know, at one point they were running media ads that said doctors prefer to smoke Camel Lights. I mean, come on. The media's out there telling you doctors smoke Camels.
That's a little,
you know.
Right.
Now we know.
Right.
Now we know what they're willing to do.
Right. How far? And I say this all the time. You have to take things with a grain of salt. The only thing that I wished is, hey, listen, whoever you support, whoever you want to run against, when are we looking at this? In the
2024. Well, 2022 is going to be that crashing red wave, that crashing red wave that's coming. But you know, the whole shakeup on how that goes will determine. I mean, you know, they're trying to disqualify the man through like trying to sue him over things and things like that. They're trying to disqualify him for running again, but you know, they got a horse like DeSantis coming up, so like it's not even a big deal.
We have to be real at this table.
Yeah.
Why is it that a man of his caliber is getting supported and funding from some of these groups, radical groups that should be considered domestic terrorists?
Well, I don't know who that would be.
Right?
Who is that?
I mean, I'm not gonna say it on here, but some of the groups that were included in his funding that he denounced. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
he denounced affiliation.
I think they might. He can't control who votes for him.
He cannot, but he can also come out and see he didn't want to do that.
I think you've been tricked by the media.
You think I've been tricked by the media?
I think if you roll through,
yeah,
he's that whole both sides thing,
right,
at Charlottesville type thing,
right?
Like he's definitely denounced right wing, left wing,
right,
extremists.
So what is their goal? Because if you have a group like that people are willing to lay down their lives, right? I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm not.
Tell me what it is.
I'm not trying to be associated or defend anybody on the fringe of any group.
Right.
You know,
right.
I'm a rational, practical, logical guy, in my opinion. You know, so like I just see what we all could have individually. And until we all have something to bring to the table individually, we have nothing as a group.
That's true. I do feel that I'll keep going back to this. If somebody can come on here, somebody can comment. When have you ever seen the amount of hate, the amount of fear that we experienced around this last election? And I don't understand why, right? Why are the affiliations with this man? Why does that bring out people to feel like, and matter of fact, let me say this. What does make America great again really mean?
Right.
What do you want to take it back to the top because you feel that you've been slighted or if you look at the population, how certain groups are expanding and certain groups, what does make America great again really mean? I know what it means to me because of the way people have said it. What time period do you want to take this back to?
Well, let's just talk about inflation.
Okay.
All right. So in 1950, the $100 was worth $100. In 2022, $100 versus a 1950 $100 is worth $8.98.
All right.
So if we're talking economics,
right?
We don't have to talk about culture. We can talk about a lot of different things.
Right.
That the manufacturing, like we actually made stuff here in this country. It wasn't just an information. It wasn't just an information technology type of labor. It was I made your T-shirt yesterday. I made your light bulb yesterday.
Right.
Like we did things in America.
Right.
Like we don't make our own stuff. We don't produce our own stuff.
To a certain extent.
No, we don't produce our own stuff. Like, we barely make cars.
I do know that our cars go back before it's completely built. That car may make 3 or 4 trips.
The American car in America has lost its way. I don't want an American car. I would much rather have a German car, or I'm driving a Range Rover right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey.
So I'm just saying, I don't want a Ford Explorer.
Okay, right.
So I'm done with the American automobile, unless it's a Tesla.
Right.
Unless I get
he was in the Tesla, now he's gone electric. That's just a little Drake thing, but yeah. But no, I see what you're saying, but I'm
talking economics. I'm talking policy.
All right, let's take
I'm talking power. I'm talking like military strength, respect, actually getting paid for our service.
Right. I will say good point. All right. I will say this. I think power has a big deal in all of this stuff, right? Yeah. I tell people all the time, it ain't about race. It ain't about really class.
Yeah.
It's about power.
It's about the globalist elite versus the sovereign country.
Right. And a lot of people may disagree with me on where I'm going with this, but there were too many times where I had to pull on the coattails of people that I know and say, hey, bro, you might want to slow down on that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because you're looking wild out here, right?
Yeah.
And they said, Derek, thank you, man. What is this captivating, spellbound, mystifying thing that happened to everybody around this man that would get people ready to jump out the window? Don't let your affiliation or who you want in office get you whipped out here. I agree with that. You cannot do certain things. You need to act accordingly.
I agree with that.
We need to act accordingly. There is no reason why we cannot have people that come together on a common goal. And like I said, if you can't give me 5 reasons that affect more than your household of why you want this person in office, and I hope it reaches different demographics than what's in your household, because I couldn't do that. When I asked people, why do you support him? Half of them didn't even know.
Did I give you,
you did,
yeah.
Because you read and you do your research, right? And you're intelligent. But I'm talking about most of the people that were riding around, jumping on broomsticks and looking in my face, and you got 3 teeth in your whole head. Do you really think that Donnie is going to come to your area and yell up the holler and see if you're doing okay? I tell you right now, he's not.
Right.
He's not.
Right.
Right. So all I'm saying is you have to think about your household too. What is this doing for my immediate home? What is this doing for my immediate community? Is there a divide? Is there separation, right? Because the media is already going to do that alone, right?
I think that's the trick right there. Is I think when he took the throne, like the media put the programming out for everybody to go so far divide. I mean, it wasn't just a slight divide.
No,
it was a
huge.
major divide.
It was huge.
And I blame the media. I blame the media for that. I don't blame the guy for that. I blame the things that we consume every day and put in our mind, right, that people don't even. I mean, you still watching CBS Evening News? Come on, bro. What are you doing? Like, why are you doing that?
What should they be on, Scott?
I mean, Joe Rogan's a lot better. Information.
He is entertaining. He is, right?
Like,
now, some of that dancing in the desert. Some I don't know about all that stuff,
right.
but but he is. I'd say he is, and that's
get
my
your
point.
information from independent sources that aren't tied to big media corporations that run the government. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think that
just Reggie Grubb, the Vanguards and the BlackRocks of the world, get off of that tip. You know?
I think that my only concern throughout that entire process was, are we looking at the real issues in our, in our areas? Let's and I asked this guy one time, he was so pro-Trump and so about this, so about that. I said, give me 5 things that you want to see changed. He could not give me one.
Wow.
All right. Now that is the majority of the people who voted for him. The other majority are people like you, right? That care about gas prices, that care about
less
cost
taxes,
of living, that care about
gun rights,
all of those things.
Yep.
Some of the things that I still care about, right? But don't come to me talking about, I want him in, when you can't even tell me why.
He's a nameless face for me, bro.
Right? You can't.
He's just popular enough to get the win and make a change. Drain the swamp. Like that's a real thing. You were seeing all kinds of swamp creatures because of him.
Hey, a lot of Loch Ness monsters. I'm telling you, I've seen some people that
on both sides of the aisle.
On both sides, there's been extremes.
Liz Cheney, swamp monster number one. Yeah.
I've seen people come out and bring their heads up, and I've seen people say some things, and I'm like, what are you reading? What are you digesting? Because I don't understand. Like I said, and I'll keep saying this, I don't care who you support. Sometimes, even as a veteran, I just step back and I look at everything, right? Because on a small scale, our mission came down to, if it was us three making it home in this room, it really wasn't about what we thought about why we were there or the global situation. Yeah. I don't mind people voting for Trump. I don't mind Trump supporters. I just say that if you want to be so passionate about somebody, really have a reason for it. Really want to see social justice and equality and why we're still having issues with police brutality and things. Let's address things that are real, right? Because I'm pretty sure that on your son's AAU team, right, Jared and Carson get to come over and eat pizza on the weekend, right? But we're not going to discuss how we really feel about who we want in office and this and that. It has to be bigger than the person. It has to be bigger than power. It has to be bigger than, oh, I want him in there for this reason. That man incites people and makes them feel invincible, make America great again. He makes them feel that there are no consequences for their actions. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying a few people, right? But there are. There are consequences.
Hey, wouldn't you like to, I mean, as far as influence goes, I don't want people to cause violence in my name, but I can't help how someone is perceiving the things that I'm doing. I'm just doing what I think is best. Right. I'm trying to put my voice out there. I want support. I don't want violent support. Right. But if somebody goes out there, I'm not responsible for their actions. Right. I'm not responsible. If I'm mapping that out and I'm like, man, they're doing that. They're doing that's not the thing to do. That's not I'd be coming out to say that too. And do you think that he did that enough? I think he did it. I think he could probably do more of it. Right. But who's going to really, if you're an opponent of his, are you going to be satisfied? Ever? Will he have ever done enough? Well, I don't think it's necessarily him. I think it's, like you said, the influence, right? When you have that much with, heavy is the head, right? Yeah. When
that you have that much influence. You can't tell me, as smart as they are, they're not sitting back in a room with 12 TVs in it, and they're like, look at these idiots, right? Look at what we made them do today. They're winding your damn batteries up, and nobody notices that? Yeah. I watch people that are millionaires put applesauce in their mouth and just yell and scream and just look crazy. And I'm like, what happened? Talk to me. Tell me what happened. Why are we doing this? What does that man or his policy or what do you hope to accomplish with him being in office? Please tell me, because we still have issues right here in this area that we're still trying to deal with, right? We're still trying to get certain fundings for schools, and we're still trying to get certain things, and we've had issues at Christiansburg High School before, and we've had a lot of things in this area. There was a Trump train that rode right down Main Street in Christiansburg, and some of them were high school kids in there, right? So where do we say that wanting to elect a president has to come with intimidation and fear? I've never seen that before. And let me ask you this. If Trump was a woman, and all these women, and I support women 100%, a feminist, right? Yeah. What if they started beating on men and mean-mugging men? And what if all these women rode down the street in big lifted trucks and dared you to do, you know what I'm saying? Oh, my gosh. We'd have a problem, right? You imagine? I'm telling you, if all these women came out and they started groping people and smacking them, and I'll do what I want, you can't tell you. Hey, I'm telling you, most people would be like, listen, we're not going for that. What if that man was, what if he was black, right? And we can barely congregate more than 10 people on the side of the road without somebody calling the police. What are they doing? They're gathering. It's got to be something dangerous going on, right? What if we rode up and down the street in big lifted trucks and flags and stuff like that? We would be arrested. We don't have the right to do that. It would be, I'm telling you,
That's an interesting perspective.
It would not have the same temperature if it was a woman in office and she was promoting that type of energy. If it was a black man in office and he was pushing that type of energy. Because can you imagine when Barack Obama, whether you agreed with his policy or not, some of it I did, some of it I didn't, but can you imagine the aftermath if people rallied up together and they spread this bullying mentality and fear surrounding his candidacy, and they were just going at people and daring them to go against him? What did you say about him? And you're ready to cause physical harm to somebody? Because can you imagine if we had a large group of African Americans that went out in the communities in caravans and these big things and stuff like that? What would happen? I know what would happen. It would get shut down. Can you imagine if a bunch of African American men stormed the Capitol? Let's talk about it. I'm telling you right now, it wouldn't have went the same way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. That's just my opinion. But I'm just saying that I think a lot of things give passes because it's that person, oh, they didn't mean to do that. They're being patriotic. They're being a certain type of way. I get it, man. Express yourself. Do what you can afford. It's what they used to tell us in the Army, right? Do what you can afford. If you can afford to get out here and get on camera and lose your job and your retirement because you wanted to put your bare ass on a desk inside the Capitol, go right ahead, right? If you can afford it. But I'm telling you that a lot of people are in support and they don't even know why.
So what you're saying is people just need to wake up and they need to actually dive into the things that they really care about, and find the person that represents what you care about the most. Yes. And go with it.
Go with it. Don't just go. I didn't even actually want to go vote this last time, but then I felt bad because I was like, no, too much has happened in our nation. Too much has happened for me as a man to be able to go and cast my vote, right? So I felt like, no, I need to do that, right? I was honestly scared of this boiling point that I felt because I didn't feel like there was any cap to it. So I wasn't necessarily disagreeing with the person. And me and you, I called him Donnie. Me and you would, go back and forth. I wasn't necessarily disagreeing with the person. I was disagreeing with the climate of our nation and what was it going to take for us to dial it back.
I get that. I 100% get that. And that's a lot of perspective I've gotten from other friends of mine of color.
Right.
Like just the boldness of it
all. Oh God, the boldness is the boldness. If you've never seen
just from old ladies in the restaurant,
if you've never seen certain forms of bigotry and racism right in your face, with people that did not care because they felt like they had a backing, they had support. Yeah. And I'm not just saying this from me. You just told me you've heard it from other people I've never talked to. Yeah. And we felt like that in Christiansburg. Yeah. What did they feel like in
Atlanta,
Tennessee, Texas, Houston, on a big metroplex? Like, come on. Like, I really feel that.
But I do think that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of media-driven type stuff. Like I said, that divide kind of went that way. And if you were just looking at the news,
right,
you got to believe, Nora Jones. You got to believe whoever the anchor is talking about, the other cities that are burning and what's going on. It's just a media-driven farce. Right. That if we had independent, trustworthy folks,
right,
we were looking into, we would get, take a second before we made a reaction. I think we'd be a lot better off on that.
Right. My phone I thought it was charged. Sorry about that. It was dying a little bit. I just wanted to get it off alive.
It's all good.
I consider as a man, and I accept and respect your opinion. Like I said, the only thing that I was scared on is the level in which people were going to take this to, because it got scary.
Yeah.
It got very scary, right? It got scary to either side to support your opinion. Yeah. It got scary to advocate for who you want. It got to the point where I have never seen something like that. Yeah. And I know that it's only going to get worse, because it should not have to create as much divide. If we're all on the same page and we want the same things, why do we fight so hard for division instead of diversity? Why do we fight so hard for confusion instead of clarity? Yeah. Because like I said, it should a person that the United States that we elect and we represent, we're saying that we believe that this person is going to do the best for all. Yeah. And the common good for all. Yeah. Not just somebody that
is running their agenda.
Is running your own agenda. No. This has to reach the masses. This has to reach past personal biases. This has to reach past anything that you were told at your table in your home. Yeah. Because if you don't have that type of heart, if you don't have that type of mentality, then not only are you failing yourself, you're failing everybody that looks up to you. Yeah. Because they don't know why my dad or my mom are supporting this person, because we've never sat down and really discussed why.
Right.
Because we want certain things to happen. We want grocery stores to be put in impoverished areas, so where people are not eating genetically modified crap all the time, that they can go and have fresh produce, that they can go and have better water. There are some areas in the United States right now where the people are still having issues with their water.
Dude, I was walking down Walmart in Christiansburg, and these shelves are bare, bro.
Yeah.
There's nothing on them. I mean, there was no lunch meat, bro. There's Hillshire Farm fucking honey ham. I can't even get no honey ham.
Scott said, I can't even get a ham roll out here. And I don't know if that's something that people are already maybe the weather, inclement weather, I don't know if that's coming from something, different. I would sit down and have a conversation with anybody, and somebody would check me on the same thing. If there was a candidate that they thought that I was voting for only because the similarity between me and that candidate is how we looked, they would say, Derek, you're only voting for him because he looks like you.
Honestly,
and I would say, no,
I think the majority of people that voted against Donnie last time was voting against him and not for the other guy.
Yes.
You know, so
and
that's unfortunate.
And
we don't have a better candidate on the other side. You know, that was SNL just made Pete Davidson. He big Pete Davidson in the news, dating Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, yeah,
that's wild, right?
Yeah, Kanye's,
anything's possible.
Hey, anything's possible. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Pete Davidson is ugly, and I shouldn't probably say that about people. He's ugly. You're ugly, bruh.
Yeah, but he's funny.
He's funny. He's funny, and maybe he's got some
features that we don't know about.
Some machismo that we don't know about. But I'm just saying, like, I don't get it. Yeah. But it's not. Maybe it's not for me to understand.
But on his skit, talking about how this reality was about to crash. He was saying something about, I can't even remember what he was saying. I don't know. It was funny though. We need to pull that up. His latest skit.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't remember what I was talking about now. We'll edit that out. But anyway, yeah, man, it's just a wild time.
It's a wild time, and I'm telling y'all right now, I already know what's going to happen. It's already started, right? I just hope if y'all are listening, please. Let's have conversations around things that scare us. Let's bring clarity to these situations. And please, let's do our research and figure out what is important to us. What do we want to see changed? What does Make America Great Again really look like? Is that just for a specific group of people?
No.
Or do we want to make America great again for everybody? Because there have been times where America has not been great for some people. So when we say we want to make it great again, what period are we referring to? What do we want to go back to?
We're just I think it's really just a catchy tune.
A catchy tune?
I think it's just
I think it was started at that, but when you see certain people say it, I really feel like that is a
he just stole. Hey, look, he just ripped off Reagan.
Yeah.
Really, he just ripped off a successful slogan.
Rock.
He just ripped it off knowing that it hits.
Right.
It goes over.
But I think a lot of people, he's smart enough to know that when he says tag them and bag them, if he said that, somebody's going to run out here. I'm telling you, he knows that his words incite people, right? Because never in our history of our nation, I mean, let me not say that because I'll fact check myself on history, but like, unless we're throwing tea into the damn water and things like that, like he incites people that I think are borderline close to chewing on their steering wheel. And I don't necessarily understand it, but like I said, the only thing I want, I don't care who you vote for, let's do it peacefully. Let's do it with general understanding that we want this because we care about our neighbors. Yeah. We care about our nation. We care about, there are people like, oh my God, they're knocking over shelves in Target in LA. When has a Target shelf ever crossed your mind in LA other than when you saw it on the news?
Yeah.
Why is that becoming a thing for you now?
Did you see the news of the trains being looted?
I have not.
Yeah, the some big crime wave is going on where they've identified cargo ships that are being transported by rail.
Okay.
They get in and they pop the locks and they just push all the stuff out. They just push it all out and then they go through what they want. They pack it into a car and they drive off. I have
not. Now I will research this for next time, right? But I have not seen this. But I do see a lot of smash and grab.
Yep.
Jewelry store things that are going on.
People
right
are just doing that to cars. They're just busting car windows out.
Wow,
it's crazy.
You think that's because of the?
I just think crime's up, bro. I think
why is it up?
I have no idea.
Is it the economy? It
could be the border. It could be. I mean, it could be a lot of different things.
Right.
I don't think police forces are properly funded. I don't think that they're properly respected.
We talked about this before.
Yeah. I just think that under do our leaders matter? Does the leadership of the country matter when it comes to the top down authority. You know?
Absolutely, because if you do not have somebody in office that the majority of the people believe in, or that they want to see do things a certain type of way because they believe in his tenacity and he'll stomp a mud hole.
I just think that there was a level of respect versus no respect at all. Someone that had the back of the police and someone that doesn't. Right. I think it's just seeing the I just can't stand watching the news, but seeing the news is just it's a depressing thing every day.
Sometimes. Yeah.
But dude, so State of the Union really is. It's probably still it's underlying.
It's dormant right now.
Yeah. So that's good, I guess. I mean, you know, we're not seeing cities burn down, and we're not seeing a consistent news cycle of corruption, even though it's as corrupt as it's ever been. It's just out of the news cycle, right? You know, because the right guy's in place. And
I don't think everybody that supports Trump are bad people. I don't think that they have bad intentions. Let me clear that up, because I know somebody's gonna super micro dissect what I said.
Right.
I'm just saying, for the people that are using it for the wrong reason, that are hibernating right now, just stay sleeping. Let people that really, really want change. Let people that really support him because they really did their homework and believe in his views.
Honestly, man, between us, if another guy can come and execute policy and take his game plan and keep the temperature, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I don't like, having debates with my best friends. I don't like being called racist on social media.
And here's what I'm saying. Donnie's never met you.
Yeah.
How does that trickle down to you? See what I'm saying? Exactly. See the effect? This energy is real.
Yeah.
The effect is real. Yeah. You've had conversations with people. Let me get closer. You've had conversations with people that care about you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You've had to put certain
I've had to explain myself.
You've had to explain yourself to people that have known you their whole life.
Yeah.
Right?
And they don't get it.
Right.
They don't get it.
They don't get it. And on top of that, that is happening in your circle.
Yeah.
What's happening on a broad scale?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is deeper than just a candidate.
Yeah.
This man has super influence over people.
Yeah.
And it's
amazing how one man can make a person feel. That we don't know. We've never met.
You've never met him.
We'll never even be in his orbit.
Right.
Right. We're not going to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. And if he saw you, he would, you know what I'm saying?
Report. Move on.
Right. And move on. Where, I want a Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? That'd be the next thing. Diet Coke, this thing, I just wanted to point that out. And I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
This situation has unfortunately allowed you to have uncomfortable conversations with people that you care about and that care about you, because they want to understand this looks a little weird. Scott, just let me know what's going on, because they see a bunch of other ramblers
and the media
responding a certain way, and they want to know, Scott, where do you stand with this?
Yeah, because that's not what I'm hearing. That's the right thing, but you're saying that's supposed to be the wrong thing.
Right.
So I've had to have those.
Right.
Yeah. But I'm the brick out of the wall, bro.
And I know you will continue to be. And you know why I respect you? Because I know where you stand. Right? Yeah. You're not going to hug me and put the knife in, dude, right? I know where you stand already, right? I know you have the blade on you, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to me that you see those things that way. Because I know if you saw someone doing something out of line, even with your support towards that, you're going to call them out on it.
Of course.
Don't do this, because it diminishes what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Right? And I believe that. But there will be more uncomfortable conversations to come.
Definitely.
Because I feel that he will get elected again if he runs.
Yeah. If he dodges all the bullets coming after him, and he actually gets out there, I mean, he's the guy.
Right.
I mean, he's got the steam.
He does. He has a lot of steam, and like I said,
dude, he just put 50,000 people in the crowd in Arizona a couple of days ago. 50K. Nobody's talking about it, but he's still booking them.
Yeah, they're out there.
Butts in the seat, bro.
Hey, I know you I call them trumpets. I know you trumpets is waiting to blow. I know. I know. All I'm saying is, let's think outside the box of what we want to prove a point. Let's think about people that really want to come together.
That's all I want, man. Love wins in the end.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's
like,
all I
let's
want.
come together.
Yeah.
Let's forget. I mean, you can't forget, but like, let's put our blinders on to the surrounding of all this negative content that's trying to get to us.
Right.
And let's just burrow through that and just get to the light.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
So I think that's a good ending point.
Yeah.
Dude, always excited to have you on.
Thank
brother.
you. I appreciate the opportunity.
We are on the quest to 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
I got to get you pumping content, bro.
Right.
I need you writing every day. Are you writing every day?
Some days I do.
You need
some
to write
days,
every day.
Some days I
You got to get up in 10 minutes, write a joke.
write a joke.
I mean,
you know, and I really want to, like we discussed on the last show, take a shift and incorporate the birth of what I want to do.
Yes.
You know,
like
so,
this is getting you in practice.
Right. Yeah.
This is getting you a routine.
Right.
And now we'll spin you off and we'll get you you and T or Tonio, just get some people. Get in here and chop it up how talk sports out your ass, like whatever you want to do.
That's what I want to do. And, because like I said, that's a big realm. So I just appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. So,
All right. Until next time, thanks for watching.
Thank you.